Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for stopping by. If you have been here before and decided to come back, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Today, I want to make a video. I'm trying to find good lighting. There is no good lighting in this shop. I tell you what, these track lights, it's no good lighting. It's like my curse with lighting. But anyway, today is December 4th. So today is the 4th of December, and it is the feast day of a specific Catholic saint, as well as the feast day of one of the Orisha in Yoruba tradition. December 4th is the feast of Santa Barbara, as well as Shango. So those of us in the Cuban lineage of Santeria, we honor Shango on why do I keep saying September? On December the 4th. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. She's tired. But I definitely wanted to come and help you guys to have a little bit of an understanding about this and these energies of these massive, very powerful spirits, and how perhaps you may want to work with them in your life and how you can do so. Let's talk first about Shango himself. So Shango is an Orisha. He is one of the 7 African powers, if you've ever heard that said. Those are the primary, there are countless Orisha, but the 7 primary ones that most any human would have to go to are the 7 African powers, as they're known, and Shango is one of them. His feast day, again today, December 4th, he was an actual king. So before he was, trying to find a place to put this, before, it's crooked, work with me. Before he became elevated to an Orisha status, he was an actual human being. He was a living king in Yoruba. And he was known to be a very, very powerful, strong leader. He's very charming, very charismatic, very big, bold energy. Like Shango is power, alpha masculine, hot-blooded, spicy, bold energy. So if there's a situation where you need to know how to be charismatic while in a position of authority or leadership, and that could be in terms of your job or something that you're working on, or just in your own personal energy, how to show up with bold, audacious, daring energy while still being charming and charismatic. But he's about taking up space. Like, you know, he's hot. He's hot, he's fiery, he's feisty, he's spirited. And as a leader, that makes him extremely protective. So if you need any situations where you need protection, strength, tapping into your own personal power, your own inner fire, to stand up for yourself or to stand up for those who are perhaps being overpowered. If you are in business and need to show up as a powerful, strong leader, working with Shango's energy might be something that would be a good option. Now, Santa Barbara, she is the patron saint who is syncretized with him. So let's talk a little bit about her backstory. I'll help you understand why there's a synchronization between them. You might hear music in the background. That is a song specifically for Shango. So Santa Barbara was an actual living person as well. Any of the Catholic saints, in order to be canonized, you have to have been a living human being, and then elevated to sainthood, which is canonization through the Catholic Church. And Santa Barbara her story goes that her mother died when she was pretty young, and her father was absolutely devastated, took it very hard, seemed to have lost his mind after the passing of his wife, her mother, but probably was not the nicest of gentlemen to begin with. After her mother passed, he locked her away. He had a tower built with 2 windows. Well, initially there were no windows. He had a tower built for her to essentially imprison her. It's kind of like a Rapunzel kind of a story. And she was imprisoned in this tower because she was known to have been a very, very beautiful girl, and as she became older, a beautiful young lady. And so her father was extremely, the negative aspects of patriarchy, the negative aspects of alpha masculine energy. He was extremely manipulative, controlling, overbearing, and cruel. And it got to a point where, as she got older, she kind of was able to talk him into giving her a tiny amount of freedom outside of this tower. And she was introduced to Christianity. Now, her father was a pagan. And as she became introduced to Christianity, and I quite honestly think because of the negative influence and the extreme abuse of her father, it made her reject anything that was associated with him or anything that he put any merit or value into. And he definitely was anti-Christian. So he had this tower where two windows were put in. And after she learned about Christ and the Trinity, she had the workmen add a third window when they were making the renovations so that the light came in from 3 different directions. Again, her nod to the Holy Trinity and the light of Christ. Well, as the story goes, she escaped one day and her father brutalized her, beat her horribly, publicly humiliated her, and he wanted her to denounce Christ, and she refused to do so. Marched her naked through the street while beating her mercilessly, and eventually she was put to death, and she was beheaded by the hand of her own father. So Santa Barbara is a saint that people can go to for many reasons, but let's stick to the first reasons that are related to the story that I just told you of her origin story. Any situation where a woman is being abused, most particularly by a man, any situation where a woman is dealing with oppression, the negative aspects of patriarchal energy, confined, restricted, having her power taken away from her. So we can definitely go to Santa Barbara for that. Also for any, she's patroness of stonemasons, of artillery, of firefighters, of warriors, of soldiers, or anyone who, again, needs to stand up and rise up in their power. Now, Shango, he is the Orisha of rain and lightning and fire. Santa Barbara is associated with lightning and fire because, again, the energy of power that comes from that, of being bold, of taking up space, of illumination. But her father and the other city councilman, person in charge of the city, who beat her so mercilessly and so horrifically brutalized her and then murdered her, they were both killed because they were struck down by lightning. So lightning is associated with Santa Barbara. And so when you see imagery of her, oftentimes you'll see a woman with a tower in the back with 3 windows, and oftentimes there's lightning. So if you wanted to petition either of them for assistance, again, today is their feast day, December 4th. Shango's sacred number is 6. Red shiny apples. Find the most beautiful, bright, shiny, because that's like a screaming red siren. That's Shango, and that's why I am specifically in red today, is to pay my respects and honor to connecting with those energies of both Shango and Santa Barbara. And so you could use 6 shiny red apples. He has a double-sided axe because it's to show his power in this world and in the spirit realm. Red candles. You use a red 7-day candle. Perfect. So you could have a plain one. You could get one with his imagery on it. You could get one with St. Michael's imagery because he's syncretized oftentimes with St. Michael. You could use a small chime candle, like a red chime candle. You could use definitely the sparkly metallic red because Shango, again, he is just loud, proud, audacious, flashy, egotistical, bold kind of energy with Shango. Show you the image of Saint Barbara. So it's a picture of Santa Barbara. As you can see, the tower in the background, and her holding the Eucharist, but draped in red and white robes. And red and white are Shango's colors. And as a tarot reader, you know everything's going to come back to tarot for me. So ways that Shango's energy or Santa Barbara's energy may show up for you in the cards, it could be sometimes the Ace of Wands, the initial creative spark, initial or renewal of empowerment, confidence, energy, creativity. And it is a giant phallic symbol, which Shango is all about. Virility, masculine energy, male virility, sensuality. The Emperor, because he was an actual leader, and again, draped in red robes, so management, authority, that Aries, fiery, feisty Aries energy. Again, King, so King of Wands, the charisma, the charm, the management skills of managing creative things and encouraging others enthusiastically from a position of leadership. And I love how the King of Wands is seated, but he's almost like he's at the edge of the seat to me in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, where he's like, don't make me get up because I will. And again, Shango is very F around and find out. And both Shango and Santa Barbara, we have the Tower. And oh my God, I love the magic of tarot. As many times as I've looked at this card, I never realized there are 3 windows in the Tower card. Hello, as lightning strikes and topples down, knocking the crown. Those in authoritarians or people in positions of power who may just be behaving as a figurehead, but striking down and dismantling what no longer serves, dismantling in very abrupt, bold, audacious, no apologies kind of an energy. So a nod to Santa Barbara. So on this December 4th, all the love and respect and homage to both Santa Barbara and Shango. And I will catch you guys in the next video.